Sex muna bago jowain o jowain muna bago sex? My name is Queen Wasabi, analytico sa umaga, gamer sa gabi, podcaster in between. I am your resident life, love, and sex podmate. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome back, podmates. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for joining me for another episode. May question ako. Sex muna bago jowain o jowain muna bago sex? Thought-provoking ba? But before we start, trigger warning. This is somewhat a sensitive topic. We do not mean to criticize anyone for whatever preferences you have for your sexual life. Medyo, medyo sensitive yan, no? We will discuss this topic as adults without any hint of toxicity and judgment. So, yung discussion natin today will be revolving around the idea of having sex before getting into a relationship. Sex muna bago mo jowain. Alright? So, I know, the idea or the right thing's supposed to be, since we are a Christian Catholic country, the idea is supposed to be marriage before sex. Yun yung normal na tinatanong, 'di ba? Or yun yung normal na argument. It should be marriage first before sex. So medyo mas malala yung pinopost ko right now. So if you're close-minded about the topic, and if you feel like I will just cause you stress and matitrigger ka lang sa pag-uusapan natin, feel free to leave. Balikan na lang next time. Marami tayong relationship discussions next time that you might want to join. But for this one, this is for people who are very open-minded with their sexual activities and with their sex life, So, let's get into it. Sa akin kasi mas medyo interesting yung question of having sex with that certain someone before committing to a relationship. 'Di ba? Where is this idea coming from? Kasi the most common answer, and what seems to be very logical, is that you go in a relationship first. You go in a relationship, get to know the person, have that kind of commitment that, of course, kayo lang dalawa. The exclusivity, the idea of exclusivity in the relationship, right? That's the idea, or that's the most common answer. The normal thing to do is that you go on dates first, get to know each other, to commit to love and care for each other before you remove your clothes, spread your legs, and enjoy that sweet, sweet, sexy time. That's it, right? That's the normal journey of being in a relationship, right? So why do I pose this question in the first place? Bakit ko nga ba gustong pag-usapan? At bakit ko nga ba gustong buksan ang idea of having sex first before commitment? Not marriage commitment even, just the relationship. It's because of, one is sexual compatibility. Second is your personal happiness in bed, your sexual satisfaction. And this is the reason why I mentioned earlier na kailangan medyo open-minded ka with sex topics before you listen to this podcast. Kasi this topic is for people who know how to be satisfied in bed. I'm not sure if you guys are aware. I'm sure you guys, some of our listeners understand this, that not everyone understands how to be satisfied in bed. Does not everyone know how to be satisfied in bed? Right? Those people who will demand satisfaction in sex, para sa inyo to. Because there is no way for you to understand if you are sexually compatible or if you're happy with your sex life if hindi mo naman alam kung paano, or hindi mo naman alam how it feels. And this topic, it's very women-centric. Kasi most of the time naman, it's the women who are yung medyo nakukulangan, right? Especially the young adults where they don't really understand or they don't know how to be satisfied in bed. In short, it sounds very cheap, pero nasarapan ka ba? It sounds very cheap. I am so sorry. But at the end of the day, after the sex, it should be to your satisfaction. Were you happy with the deed, or do you just feel dirty and used and you didn't even get to enjoy the experience, right? Now, see, I'm not saying this na parang this is the way to go. This is not one size fit all. It will always depend first on your belief. Isang malaking factor yung beliefs mo. Isang malaking factor yung values mo and yung comfort level mo. This is not for people na mahina ang loob. Do you understand? Bakit kailangan malakas yung loob mo? Kasi pwede kang masaktan. Sex involves so much emotions, especially for women. So, this can hurt you so much if you don't understand it fully. But I know for a fact that sexual compatibility is a fucking crucial, and I'm gonna say it again, crucial component of a relationship. But as with tradition, let us just define quickly what sexual compatibility is. So according to Google, sexual compatibility is with the spouse or the couple's participation for fulfilling each other's sexual needs, solving problems arising from sexual discrepancies based on sexual understanding, sexual agreement and interest in continuing sexual relationships with the aim of mutual sexual satisfaction. I think that's the key there. Mutual sexual satisfaction. Parehas kayong satisfied. And that would mean that you're compatible. Kasi hindi naman pwede na si guy lang yung happy and then you're not. Right? But that's a totally different topic right there. Sexual compatibility is a broad topic that we can discuss in another episode. But right now, I just want to put it out there that, we're talking about this. We're talking about the idea of being in or having sex first, rather, of having sex first before being in a relationship, because you need to understand that you need to be compatible so that you are both sexually satisfied. Imagine a scenario where you dated a person. You went and decided to be in a relationship with this person. Ang saya, di ba? You're in a relationship, bagong relationship. You're getting to know each other. Everything's sweet. Everything's blossoms and flowers and unicorns. And then that wonderful, sweet moment came. And it's time to do it. And by do it, I mean have sex, right? It was a nice night. You both decided to go to his place, to do the dirty deed. He took off his clothes. He played that, ano bang movie yun? 365 Days Left. I'm not sure what the title is. But you remember that movie, right? And you expected some Massimo level action to go down. And when it's time, 1, 2, 3, he's done. Wait, what? Yeah. You heard me. Ang bilis ng pangyayari. You didn't even know it started. Tapos na. Nagulat ka na lang. Ay, yun na yun. Right? Or how about maybe everything could have been perfect. She was cute. She looked like an angel. She's classy, very mindful, very demure. Right? You know that. But God, she smells like rotten eggs down there. You just couldn't stand how she smells. How are you going to tell her that? See, these may sound like a joke or parang ang funny niya, di ba? Pero in these scenarios, you obviously were not satisfied. You hated the experience. Most likely, hindi mo na ulitin. chances are you don't even know how to talk to your partner about it. Kaso you're already in a relationship, diba? You're already committed to each other. You're already committed to love and care for each other. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that in most young relationships, when I say young, it's in the early stages of the relationships, the discussion about sex doesn't happen right away. Most of the time. So, you're in a relationship, you need to either get your partner to be able to satisfy you. You talk to your partner about it. You have that sex conversation, or you satisfy yourself. Or just, suffer in silence. Worst part is you don't know how to satisfy yourself. So again, it's like a joke. It seems funny, but I can assure you that there are so many horrific stories of how someone is stuck in a relationship without being satisfied with their sex life. Is it a valid reason for cheating? Hell no. Oh my God, let's not even go there. Pero ang daming nag-cheat. Kasi hindi sila happy. Minsan nga, they can't even identify that that's the problem. And then they cheat. So please, save yourself from the suffering and find out. Sana nalaman mo na to before committing to a relationship. But wait, here's the tricky part. What if someone just use it as an excuse to play around and have sex with different people? You have to understand that first and foremost, this assumption is that you are an adult, that you have consented to having sex before being in a relationship. There's a consent. That means that you know for a fact that this person might be gone in the morning. Baka kasi siya yung hindi satisfied. Right? So what I'm going to tell you is that you enjoy the night. You make sure you are very well satisfied. And if you're not, then this is the whole point of why we're talking about this. Pwede kasing mangyari yun na the guy is just after the sex. Meron naman talagang ganun eh. So please note that this whole conversation does not mean to have sex with just any guy you meet. Na kung sino lang yung ma-meet mo at kung sino lang yung gusto mong makasex. Just so, to say na, I just wanna know if we're sexually compatible. Please do your due diligence, ladies. Get to know the person before sleeping with them. And if you are having sex with the idea of being in a relationship, kilalanin mo naman. Ibig sabihin nun, kumbaga, kinilala mo na yung tao before having sex with them. You've already assessed that this person hindi ka tatakbuhan in the morning after nyo mag-sex. Pero paano yan, Sabi? I really enjoy this company. Like, apart from sex, masaya naman kami eh. This can happen to a lot of people. A lot of people go through this. And it's too easy just to say na, sex lang naman yan. Ang importante, mahal ka. Hirap nang maghanap ng taong mamahalin ka, di ba? Hahanap ka pa nung kailangan sexually compatible. I mean, if you're willing to sacrifice that, then that's perfectly okay. That's okay. There is more to relationships than just sex. Hindi lang naman sa sex umiikot ang mundo. Right? But first and foremost, at least you found out first before you got to the relationship. Di ba? Alam mo right away anong pinapasok mo. And then, it was your choice to push for that relationship even if you felt like the sex is mediocre. It was your choice. Hindi yung committed ka na tapos hirap na hirap kang makawala. Makakasakit ka pa ng tao. Paano mo sasabihin sa kanya na, ayoko na, this is not working. Why? Hindi ako masaya sa bedtime activities. How are you gonna tell her that? Or how are you gonna tell him that? And remember that sexual satisfaction can be achieved by communicating to your partner. Hindi naman nagtatapos yun dun eh. Hindi naman porket, first time namin ginawa, hindi ako masaya. Hindi naman na nagtatapos yun eh. These are things that first and foremost you can communicate with your partner. You can talk to your partner about this and you can discuss. That's where the sexual compatibility happens. Minsan, meron ka talagang mamimit na hindi nyo na kailangan mag-usap. Meron ka agad sexual chemistry. But there are times na you have to. Now, I talked about communication with your partner. It's equally important kasi. Pero as I've mentioned earlier, the communication, sometimes it comes a bit late in the relationship. Unless you're both very open sa sexual communication, right? Pero, I mean, if you are, then chances are you're definitely agreeing with what I'm saying. Now, as you move forward with the relationship, hindi ka agad madaling pag-usapan ng sex topics. If you're not happy with it, it might take some time to fix it. But it can be fixed. Kung hindi ka masaya sa mga nangyayari, like if you feel like kulang ang preparation, kulang ang cuddling time, right? This can be communicated with your partner. But again, sometimes, especially for young adults, they feel like hindi siya madaling pag-usapan, which is not supposed to be. Madaming tao ang magsasabi na, nako, excuse yan para makipag-sex kung kani-kanino. As I've mentioned earlier, right? I am not encouraging you to have sex with multiple people here and there. I think you guys know naman na before you spread your legs, sana naman nakilala mo yung tao. I'm not talking about DTF kasi ibang usapan yun. The topic that we have here is actually about your sexual compatibility and satisfaction before committing to a relationship. So, that means na meron pa ring goal to be in a relationship. Right? You will do it with someone that you already feel intimate with. Nakilala mo na yung tao. You wanna be with this person. You wanna be in a relationship with this person. It's just that before you get to that commitment, you want to understand, okay, are we sexually compatible? Will we be happy sexually if we're together? You'll find out right away. Yun yung pinag-uusapan natin. Yung DTF, next episode na yun, yung Din Tai Fung, if you know what I mean. Now, before I end, I want to leave you with this. This is for our women listeners. Your sexual satisfaction is equally important as his satisfaction. I know that it's also somewhat satisfying to see your partners happy. Meron kasing ganun eh. Na masaya na sila na nakita nila na masaya yung partner nila and satisfied yung partner nila. Pero kailangan mo ring isipin yung sayo. I do not and will never ever encourage you to go around and fuck anyone you feel like just because you can. But I will tell you this. Do not be afraid na baka kapag nakipag-sex ka muna, iwanan ka after kasi nakuha na yung gusto sa'yo. Just so you know, unang-una sa lahat, wala silang nakukuha sa'yo. At kung meron man, which is the satisfaction of having sex, you also have that. Do not ever think that they are the only one who has sexual powers na kapag, if they do it with you, they took something from you. And you're less of a person. It doesn't work that way. Could be the other way around as well. Dun kasi nanggagaling yun. You are also supposed to be satisfied with the experience. They did not take anything from you and you are not less of a person because iniwan ka after sex. That's on them. Again, remember that with this kind of thought, the person you had sex with, kilala mo na. You're already intimate with this person. You've already gotten to know this person. It's just that you've not committed to a relationship yet. Is it advisable for you to talk to the person? O bakit ganun after natin mag-sex? Biglang wala na. Yes. You've shared bodily fluids. Unless one night stand siya, that's a totally different thing. But you've shared bodily fluids because you felt like you were already intimate with each other. Now, if ginost ka niya right after, that's on them. You have to be ready for that. That's why get to know the person first. Get to know the guy first. Because that will likely gonna happen if you don't. And I mean, come on. Kahit naman nakipagrelasyon ka na, that can still happen, right? I still would encourage you to first and foremost practice safe sex. Don't go sleeping around with random strangers. Don't use sex to get that boy you like. Oh God, don't do that. That's manipulation. Maling-mali yun. Get to know the person. Be intimate with the person. There is a difference between getting to know the person and being committed to a relationship. Do your homework, girl. Get to know them really well. Find out about their past relationships. Be cautious of red flag. And last thing, enjoy the experience. Be satisfied. Be happy with your sex life.